Imagine inviting a relentless, highly critical appraiser into your life every single morning. Before they arrive, your existence feels fine. Your coffee tastes good and your living room is cozy. But the moment you unlock your screen, that invisible appraiser starts slapping discount stickers on absolutely everything you own. Suddenly, your functional wardrobe feels out of date, and your reliable vehicle becomes a visible embarrassment. Not a single physical molecule of your life actually changed. What shifted was your internal baseline for satisfaction. You walked into a psychological funhouse mirror built by engineers whose entire business model relies on making your normal existence feel like a problem waiting to be solved by a credit card. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on how your insecurity became the most profitable commodity in the modern economy, and how you can take your mind and your money back. To understand the stakes, look at the staggering $18.8 trillion household debt crisis currently sitting on the shoulders of the United States. Right now, 11% of consumers are using credit card debt specifically for essential monthly purchases just to survive. They aren't financing luxury sports cars, they are swiping high-interest cards to afford baseline grocery bills. This crisis is happening because we're living in a K-shaped economy. That sounds complicated, but simply put, it means the economy is splitting in two different directions at the exact same time. The top line goes up, representing the ultra-wealthy hoarding assets. The bottom line goes down, representing normal people trading down at the grocery store just to survive punishing inflation. Here is where the algorithm becomes a weapon. It targets the top and the bottom completely differently. If you're on the top line, it feeds you hyper-exclusivity. But if you're on the bottom line, it feeds you the illusion of the top line. Your social media feed only shows the absolute peak of that top branch. Why? Because mundane reality doesn't capture attention. No one goes viral for paying their water bill. The system aggressively prioritizes aspirational content because envy is infinitely more engaging than an ordinary life. You feel like you are constantly falling behind because the system deliberately ensures you never, ever feel caught up. Human beings are wired with an internal social thermometer to gauge our standing based on our peers. In the analog world, you judged your success by looking at your neighbors. If the guy 3 houses down bought a mid-range sedan, that was your benchmark. Today, that thermometer has been thrust straight into the surface of the sun. You are forced to measure your worth against a global highlight reel of billionaires and meticulously staged success stories. You are comparing your behind-the-scenes reality to a heavily filtered movie set. Your internal gauge is completely shattering under the pressure. To really see this, look at the chaotic viral frenzy of recent insulated cup crazes. For over a century, these brands made heavy-duty thermoses for blue-collar workers. Then the algorithm got a hold of them. They partnered with influencers to create a digital ecosystem of artificial scarcity. Suddenly, videos flooded your feed of people violently fighting over a $40 water bottle. Market data shows 62% of people buy a product within 24 hours of seeing it on social media. Platforms do this by creating artificial urgency. That sounds complicated, but simply put, it means they trick your primitive human brain into thinking a mass-produced factory item is actually a rare, life-saving resource you will permanently miss out on if you don't act right this second. When you see a flashing red badge saying, "Selling fast," your brain processes it as genuine physical scarcity. It triggers a literal survival response. Using these apps is exactly like sitting at a Vegas slot machine. You pull the lever by refreshing the feed, the screen spins, and every so often, you hit the jackpot, a viral product promising to instantly upgrade your social status. When you click Buy, you aren't buying a water bottle. You are buying a momentary solution to an emotional void the app itself created, and that momentary solution is incredibly expensive. With credit card balances jumping to over $1.14 trillion, modern marketing has completely disguised the suffocating burden of debt as a fun, accessible lifestyle product. Enter the buy now, pay later industry. Services that split a basic purchase into 4 easy payments are pitched as financial flexibility. While that sounds like a smart money move, the reality is much darker. The brand is making it dangerously easy to spend money you don't have for things you don't need by hiding the psychological pain of the total price tag. You aren't spending $200, you're just spending $50 today. But suddenly you have 6 different microloans draining your checking account for clothes you already stopped wearing. Fast fashion microtrends change so quickly that what you bought 3 weeks ago is already socially obsolete. Brands built their entire business model around making you feel that not owning their newest product is a visible signal of financial failure. The ultimate irony is that you are funding the system that engineered your insecurity. Content people don't buy things. If you felt completely satisfied with your reliable 5-year-old car, a massive sector of the economy would collapse overnight. To prevent this, platforms track how many milliseconds you pause on a luxury watch video to map your exact insecurities. Once they have that map, they weaponize it. If they know you are anxious about your career, they show you expensive online courses promising to make you a millionaire. It creates a gaping chasm between your reality and a manufactured fantasy, then offers a product to bridge that exact gap. This relies on the normalization of the luxury baseline. That sounds complicated, but simply put, it means the internet slowly tricks you into thinking extreme wealth is just normal, everyday existence. A decade ago, success meant a stable job and paying your bills. Today, a magazine-ready interior is treated as a mandatory standard. The goalposts for having enough haven't just been moved, they have been strapped to a rocket and launched into orbit. So how do you fight back? Willpower alone won't save your bank account against a multi-billion-dollar machine. You need ironclad counterintelligence. You are a target, but you are not a helpless victim. First, you need an algorithm detox. Go into your app settings, clear your ad preferences, and relentlessly delete your shopping history. When you see a post pushing a lavish lifestyle that makes you feel behind, manually tell the app you are not interested. Aggressively train the algorithm to stop feeding you aspirational poison. Start searching for wildly mundane things, like basic lawn care tips, just to scramble the data profile they have built on you. Confuse the machine. Second, implement the 72-hour rule. Artificial urgency has a short lifespan. If you see something you absolutely must have, force a hard, non-negotiable 72-hour waiting period. That sounds overly strict, but it just ensures you let the engineered dopamine rush completely wear off before you open your wallet. 90% of the time, that manufactured desire will evaporate by day 3, and your money stays exactly where it belongs, safely in your checking account. Third, start auditing your input. Treat your daily social media consumption exactly like a physical diet. A feed full of luxury signaling is a toxic food source for your mental health. If your daily media diet forces you to look at the top 0.1% of global earners, your brain constantly registers a painful deficit. Curate your digital environment to reflect actual reality. Follow people who normalize regular homes, regular cars, and regular budgets. Finally, decouple your self-worth from the checkout cart. When a targeted ad makes you crave a product, pause and interrogate the hidden motive. Are you buying a viral leather-bound planner to actually organize your week, or are you trying to buy the feeling of being a highly productive executive? By calling out the exact fantasy they are trying to sell you, the illusion shatters, and you immediately regain control of your wallet. The goal here is not just to save a few dollars. The goal is to reclaim your income and your peace of mind from a highly predatory system that literally places financial bets on your unhappiness. You are not losing this game because you were weak or financially irresponsible. You are losing because you didn't even know you were playing. But now you know the rules. Remember that 11% of consumers relying on debt just to survive? That is the real human cost of this algorithmic warfare. When you stop letting a screen dictate your inadequacy, you step completely out of that statistic. This is exactly why personal finance strategies like Coast Fire are becoming so vital today. That sounds complicated, but simply put, it means saving aggressively early on so your investments coast to retirement, leaving you needing to earn only enough to cover your basic everyday life. You get to step off the treadmill. But you can never achieve that kind of profound financial freedom if an algorithm is constantly convincing you to inflate your lifestyle to impress strangers. Every time you feel that sudden sinking anxiety that you are falling behind, remember that your insecurity was engineered in a boardroom to meet a quarterly sales quota. Your perfectly normal, quiet life is not a failure. It is actually your greatest shield. The moment you accept that a designer wardrobe will not fill the emotional void created by your smartphone, their entire billion-dollar machine breaks down. So your next step is incredibly simple. Tonight, put the phone in another room. Look at the life you have already built without the funhouse mirror of the internet distorting it. The absolute most rebellious thing you can do in the modern economy is to be completely, unapologetically satisfied with exactly what you already have.